Now this is Messiah Part 8. Now this will take a lot longer than all of the other lessons to explain, for a variety of reasons, not the least of which is that we will be talking about an organ which you will not find in any anatomy book, although it's obviously there. We'll come back to that in a minute. Now, what we have to look at to achieve the objectives of Lesson 8 is that every organ has a natural relationship, a natural resonance with a pair of feelings. So one is destructive and the other is regenerative. And it's a question of which one you choose as the focus of your life. So you either destroy the organ or you regenerate it. There is actually a book, free download, which you can get, which goes into this in some considerable detail. You can get it here from harmonybook.com. And that's in English and German. And the organ we're going to look at today is here. Now, it's just above the ribs and goes across here. So it's sort of that shape, a triangular shape through the body. Now, if you look in the anatomy books, they will say, that is the liver. No, it isn't. That is the liver. This is something else. It hasn't been given a name. In the anatomy books, you will see, this is the liver, and in the middle of the liver, there's a fold. Now, this is where two organs are joined together. They have different functions, different purposes, both physiologically and energetically. And the one we're going to talk about today is this one. And what we're going to focus on is the two feelings that are in natural resonance with it. Now, the destructive one is victim consciousness. Now, anyone who lives in victim consciousness will, of course, keep manifesting helplessness for themselves. They were always the one that doesn't make it. But is this a natural state? And if not, what is the natural state? Well, the natural state, we have to look here. What is the energy here? Now, a lot of people feel a very strong cramp here because it's not in its natural state, it's in its destructive state, the victim consciousness. So you have this thing of fear here. Something bad is going to happen. You don't know what it is, but because you believe in being a victim, or more precisely, you've fixed or switched on the victim aspect of this organ, you will keep creating the justifications for the fear. And this is what we're going to turn around. And then we're going to find out what we're going to do with it. So the pair, the regenerative feeling, is release. Now, this is quite a difficult feeling to imagine because it's not something that happens every day. But let me just try and give you this as a beispiel. Maybe you can follow this through. So just imagine that you've been imprisoned for a crime that not only did you never commit, it never actually happened. And all your appeals have been rejected and you'll just sit there, helpless. And then one day, the warden comes along and said, it's all a big mistake and you're now free. And so you leave your cell, you leave the prison block, you go through the prison office where you get your clothes back, you get your wallet and your car keys and whatever. And then finally, you walk through the gates of the prison back into the world. It's that feeling as you do that, as you go through the prison door back into the world, that is the feeling of release. That's the feeling that belongs here. That's the feeling which is natural to this organ. And when you practice the feeling here, all this bit here, fill it with this feeling of release, then you will find some quite interesting things begin to happen. Now, I want you to practice this for a few days. So this is lesson 8, part A. And then in a few days' time, I'll give you part B, that tells you what to do with it. So close your eyes, bring your attention, your consciousness into here. Notice the victim energy and just change it. Replace it with release energy. Now you will feel a lot more powerful when you do this. That's natural because you've stopped inviting the world to attack you, to show you that you are a victim, or more precise, to show you that you believe that you're a victim. And it's your belief that matters, not what other people do. They're just reacting to your belief. They're doing what you're asking them to do. You're asking them to show you being a victim. So they do it because they love you. So go in here, replace the victim decision with the release decision. Let that fill up here and notice the enormous changes that happen in your body and your mind. And that's the key, in what happens in your mind. And then in a few days' time, I'll start teaching you what to do with it. Okay, thank you. Namaste. When I left the television studio yesterday, it occurred to me that it could be quite difficult for some people to do the exercise described in part A of lesson 8 of the Messiah series. Because the problem is not just something that you have, it's something that you've inherited from many, many, many generations. And so it's not easy to change it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to record a healing transmission to help you do it. And you can do this as often as you like every day. The more you do it, the greater the effect. And this will help you move from the victim consciousness to freedom.